darlings. Good evening, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle ATL By Night. Chapter 2, All Rise. Let's welcome our vampires.
Starting with me?
Yes.
Okay. It's a new order. I don't know what's going on. Hi, I'm Ian E. Muller. I play Jackson.
Hi, I'm Hannah Murphy. I play Pippa.
Hello, I am Sarah Lafferty, and I play Sybil Selenfronto.
Hi, my name is Tyler Sutherland, and I'm playing Aaron Ulrich.
I'm Zachary Vaudo, and I am the accused Anton Krovopuskov.
And I am your storyteller, Ellie Collins. We want to give a big thank you to our sponsors, Die Hard Dice, Various Clothing, and Carolina Game Tables. If you go to our link tree, which should be here in chat in a minute, and you can check out all these wonderful sponsors and support the show. So now, without further ado, let's sit back and relax, and let's try a vampire story. We pick up tonight at the Battery. For our non-Atlanta-based folks, the Battery is a shortened nickname for a very large baseball stadium and surrounding parks, shops, businesses, and apartments. It's practically its own city at this point. And tonight, as the select kindred of Atlanta gather, they are directed through the Battery to the Coca-Cola Roxy. It's a performance venue usually hosting concerts, stand-up performers, and more. But tonight, it will host a trial. When you enter from the lobby, Alima is there, greeting people with a warm smile and gorgeous red and white attire, seemingly taking the Coca-Cola name a bit seriously. The room is gorgeous and a large space with dramatic lighting and a balcony surrounding it. Up on the balcony are the Primogen, spaced apart, as well as a few other kindred that you don't recognize. Alima welcomes everyone and then heads to the stage to address the entering crowd from the microphone. Please come in. You may sit anywhere. There is a bar with some light refreshment, but it is limited. I do apologize. There have been reports of the blood banks coming up short over the last few months, and our supply is shorter than we anticipated. We do hope that this will not cause an inconvenience to you. Should you feel an overwhelming hunger, we request that you politely escort yourself off the premises of the Battery before obtaining your next meal. Thank you. And so, tonight, Jackson and Aaron, you have entered, and you've been gestured that you are able to go find a seat.
I'm gonna grab a quick drink first.
Okay.
Do you want anything?
Should we sit close or far away?
Let's get close.
Okay. No, I'll go grab seats.
Okay.
I'll meet you over there. Storyteller.
Yes.
Do I think it would have been incredibly unwise to bring along a small friend?
Yes.
Okay. Then I did not. And I will, I'll just quietly make my way up and find some seats towards the front of wherever this spectacle is going to happen.
Okay. And there is a stage in the middle, 2 desks set up, and then a seated desk set up in the middle, likely for Alpha.
Okay.
With me, I've got the bag. Carefully grab that Anton supplied to me.
Okay.
And I'm just going to head over to the bar.
Okay, so heading over to the bar, there is a gentleman there that you would recognize as one of the men that works for Alima.
Gotcha.
And he's preparing drinks for people, and he gestures to you. Yes?
Irish whiskey.
Okay. And he quickly just makes you a nice glass of whiskey on the rocks and hands it to you.
Special, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And I'll take a few sips and head back to the seat.
Okay. And then next arriving, we have Pippa and Sybil. Sybil, your father has instructed you that this is probably the best way to learn about the Camarilla, is to see what kind of things they consider justice and upholding the masquerade, for you to be able to make your own decisions about what sect you will choose to align yourself with, since he has a distaste for the Sabbat. He wants you to have a chance to get to know everything. But of course, in tow is your dear friend Pippa. And so you guys are let in, you get the same spiel from Alima, and you are free to go find seats or do whatever you like.
Do I know literally anything about what's about to happen? I feel like I've never been into anything this official.
So you would have gotten word from Lydia
Okay.
that once Anton was captured, everyone was to go completely silent. But when this event was created, there was an allowance for any kindred to come that felt that they needed to be present.
Was I directed to be under what my mission is here, ostensibly what I was directed to do by Lydia, or?
No, this
Okay.
Lydia told you that it was entirely of your own volition if you wanted to come. She is choosing not to come, but she said if you wanted to come and see the spectacle, it was up to you.
Okay. Well, I get in here and I see a distinct lack of weapons, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be boring. This is not the kind of justice I'm used to.
That sounds absolutely delightful. The justice, the brand of justice you're describing just sounds very exciting and also very murderous.
In my defense, it kind of slaps. It kind of slaps.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. Do you think we should get up in the splash zone or getting back? Well, there's probably not going to actually be a splash zone here. Never mind. It's not a monomacy.
Do you want a drink?
Yes. Please.
So I'll wander over to the bartender, I guess, with my amigo in tow. Hi, how are you doing?
Good, what can I get you this evening?
Just a gin. Neat.
All right, special or not special?
Special, please.
Very well, and he prepares you a gin and gestures to you.
I don't just suppose you have anything spicier than the typical?
I have O positive.
Yeah, that'll do. Fine.
You can thank whoever is knocking off the Life South
Thank
trucks.
you. And I take a sip and I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, let's go towards the
Mm. I look around. Do I recognize anyone? I mean, we have been cut down quite a lot for some reason. I don't know why. But do I see anyone?
None of the rest of the Sabbat appear to be here, but you do recognize people just from being out and about and being around the
Okay.
shepherds. So it's not that folks are unfamiliar, it's just you have no friends here.
Is Dot here? Do I see it?
Dot is up on the balcony, and
Okay.
you see all of the Primogen are kind of lined up, but each in their own little, like, almost like a box,
Okay.
like a viewer's box. And you also see Amon.
Okay. Discreetly make eye contact with Dot.
And Dot looks down at you without moving and looks back to the stage.
Okay, let's go. There's eyes and ears and everything everywhere. Let's go as far away from the Toronto as possible.
So in the middle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll just find somewhere. Can I see anybody that I know?
You're generally familiar with the court. Alejandro's informed you about them. You see your brother is in the crowd. And aside from that, you haven't really had much interaction with Atlanta Kindred. There's some familiar faces that you've seen out and about that you're like, oh, I figured they were Kindred.
I see.
That weird guy at the...
Yeah, you're like,
That makes sense, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was always night when I saw him, right?
Yeah.
You're like, come to think of it, that guy always was at the taco truck at night with me.
Yeah, you're like, I wonder if he also cries and tries to eat tacos. Or if he can just eat the tacos. Because that's a thing you can do. I didn't get that, but that's okay.
I see your brother and I go, kumquat?
Kumquat, let's, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, I guess kind of, do we want to sit where we can see him? Or do you want to sit next to him?
Does he want to be near me? I don't know. I'm still weirded out by the whole, like, ooh, there's the you know, the evil twinsies situation, which I still don't know what's going on with that.
Storyteller, if I see Alejandro,
He is not here.
sorry, if I see Sybil,
Hello.
can I message her in my book?
Whoa.
Yes.
Let me ask, do I know that would be any kind of violation of Elysium?
As the book is something Alejandro created from whole cloth, no one would be aware
Okay.
of what you're doing.
I'll send you a quick message and say, mine sitting close, comma behind me.
She'll just write back, okay, smiley face.
There it is.
And
What is-
is that whiskey?
Is that whiskey?
Just a little bit nervous.
I just
A
didn't-
little bit nervous. This is more Irish than whiskey.
Okay. But
is more-
also, that's a valid, like, there's alcohol here, I'll be back. I get up and I head to the bar.
We're gonna sit behind Aaron and Jackson's spot.
Okay.
I'm gonna lean up and I go in his ear, kumquat?
Hi, Pippa.
Yeah, Pippa.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Cool. How are you?
I'm here. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
But
So, what happened? And I look up at Dot and I go, what happened?
we're about to find out.
Do you have a twin brother?
I have an estranged relation, yes.
That means literally nothing to me, but thank you. That cleared up nothing.
Of everyone, you being a Tremere, I think you can fill in some of the blanks.
Bug people. They're made of bugs. That makes things worse, but I hate that. Cool.
And Jackson, you do get your drink.
Yep. Mine is more whiskey than Irish.
Good.
And I walk back over. I'm like, Jesus, this is amazing. Thank you so much.
Have I ever seen him?
Nope. You have never seen Jackson.
Like, look and go, hello.
Well, hi.
I'm
Who are they?
not. Maybe you could do us the favor of some introductions?
Storyteller, do I know of her connections with the Sabbat?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. You know that Pippa is Sabat.
Very
I
low.
called her out at a tabernacle, remember?
Yeah.
Jackson, this is someone you should not be meeting while you're inebriated. I think some...
Okay. That's not nice at all.
Tensions are high already enough. There's no reason for people to get angry on both sides.
I'm not getting angry, but that was a very rude thing to say.
It was, to a very
Oh,
non-Camarilla person that could be considered rude.
hi. And I just look at her for a minute and memorize her face and then turn back.
I look at him up and down. Are there any marks on him? Anything that he has on his clothing?
Nope.
Okay.
And so backstage,
Both of them? Both of them?
Just the new one.
What was the other one then?
Oh, I'm
More
off.
complicated than the other one.
Oh,
and so backstage, Anton, you're in a green room. Previously, for the last couple of months, you've been held in a somewhat comfortable, solitary hotel room, with Alpha giving you small comforts here and there, such as letting you listen to the Lil Nas X Jolene. And when you came here, you were ushered into a car and brought straight in. The heavy tint on the car windows, you were unfamiliar where you came from. So unfortunately, you don't know where you've been held this entire time. But you're here now, and you have some time in your room before things begin.
Is anybody in or out front of my room?
Likely there is someone posted outside your door, and you can kind of hear a weird small chorus of light noises from the other room, but it's just very simple.
Can I hear that there is a crowd?
Yes, you
Okay.
can hear the rumblings of a crowd.
Then I'm going to, once I ascertain that there is a crowd and there's a sizable enough crowd that I can hear it from back where I am, I'm going to go up and knock on my door for whoever is out front of it.
And so, opening your door is Georgina. And she says, "Yes, what do you need?"
This is actually even better. The crowd that is out front.
Mm-hmm.
Were they all present at the election?
I'd have to go look. A lot of familiar faces, so I think so.
I plan on being rather honest.
Uh-huh.
I would not wish to disclose things that the general population is not supposed to know in my testimony.
Well, two things. One, watch your mouth. And two, I've been told there's contingencies if anybody says too much, so just say whatever you need to say. But watch your mouth.
I meant if I say simply the phrase Renashere Camarilla in front of people.
Oh, yeah, no,
know
that's
what that
fine.
is.
That's fine.
Okay. You wouldn't perhaps have seen my defense tonight.
No. I'm sorry.
Have you seen any of my other compatriots?
I think I saw Aaron come in.
In lieu of my defense, may I speak with him?
Tell you what, I'm gonna lock your door and I'm gonna wedge a chair under it. We'll call that chair Georgina. And I'm gonna go ask Alpha if that's alright. And if I come back, I'll have Aaron.
Works for me.
Okay. And she goes and you hear the door shut and lock and you can hear the chair being wedged up and she goes, "Stay, Georgina." And she heads off.
I'm just gonna stare at it and wonder if she understands that I can melt wood and metal, and then just sit down on the floor and wait.
And so it takes about 10-15 minutes, but then Erin Georgina comes up and she goes, "Hey, you look weird.
Just a little... Hi, how can I help you?
Anton wants to talk to you."
Sure, lead me there.
Okay. And she leads you and she comes back and you hear, just a little jingle knock and the chair moves and Georgina opens the door and goes, "Got your friend."
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Hey, what's...
Hi there.
How are you? Are they treating you well?
Did you know that Little Nas X did a cover of Dolly Parton? Because I know that now.
No, I don't. Phones.
It's not bad.
Sounds good.
It's not bad. Georgina, may I have a moment? Or the same that you would grant to if I had actually had my defense here?
Yeah, I think that's in line. She slowly closes the door, but you don't hear any retreating footsteps.
I just look at the door for like about 10 seconds.
What's going on?
It seems that I am to represent myself tonight. I have not been made aware of what's been going on outside of my own walls, so I do not know where Mel is or why she might not be here.
We got a... Is this room safe to talk?
Only Georgina can hear us as far as I'm aware. Isn't that right, Georgina?
I'm not listening!
That's right. And I'll look back to Aaron.
Mel received a threatening package from the Anarchs.
Threatening.
A literal severed hand and a reminder of what things used to be like.
Mark, isn't it?
I don't think she has taken a safe course of action to make sure that she's not injured. But that leaves you with just you.
It's fine. I had simply planned on being honest anyway. What difference does it make if there's somebody there to relay the message?
Well, Mel has a way of... a measure of gravitas, some embellishment, some ways of
Not
making...
getting punched in the face?
Yeah, every single time. I managed to talk with Dr. Mendez without getting punched.
Well, you wouldn't have gotten punched.
It seemed to be a common denominator with you and her, so I thought it was just her. Turns out it's you.
It's me.
Okay. I did bring your bag.
Thank you.
Do you need me to...
No.
Okay.
No. Just hang on to it. It's one of those, things go well, then I'll take it back.
Just out of curiosity... No, let's leave it where it is.
Okay.
Do you need any help? We tried to gather hard evidence, but from the way that Thomasina put it, it's not going to be so much about the evidence.
No? What's it going to be about?
The show.
The spectacle of the Camarilla.
I cleaned up crime scenes. I was brought on to trials every now and then. I don't have any legal say whatsoever, let alone a kindred, let alone a Camarilla court system. So I can't, I will be there for you, but I can't help you defend yourself.
No, that's fine. I wasn't going to ask you to. If I need confirmation of the things that I say, you were there for much of it.
Sure.
But seems that all I can truly do is answer the questions truthfully and show that my actions were never against the Camarilla.
Are you warded any?
No.
Can I give you a hug?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
And
you can.
I'll lean in as long as Georgina will let me for a few seconds of hug. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose Thomasina. I don't want to lose Mel. I don't want to lose any of you.
The plan is to not be lost, but can you do me a favor? And I just need you to, and out loud I'll say, I just need you to have my back. And as I say that, in Aaron's head, I say, I need you to keep an eye on Dot and anybody else that may be up to something while we're here.
Always. Yes.
Thank you. And I'm at hunger too.
Okay. And so Georgina knocks on the door. She's like, they're about to start. You got to get out there. Come on.
On with the show.
And she opens the door and kind of ushers you out, Aaron. Sure. And so as everyone's in their seats and ready, Alpha walks out onto the stage, whispers something to Alima, and goes up to the mic. If everyone could please take their place, we're ready to start. He goes and takes a seat at the head desk. And Anton, you're led to a desk on one side of the stage. Alima, Georgina, and Amon have now moved down to flank the sides of the stage. And the other desk is empty for a moment. And Alpha sighs and looks off to the side of the stage. Gertie, do you need help? And a small, feeble voice comes from the back of the stage. Oh, no, I've got it. Just these old bones aren't what they used to be. And out hobbles a 5-foot-tall elderly woman. Her curly white hair has a red bandana tied around it. She's wearing a long, thick winter coat that has clearly seen better days. She appears, were she human, that she would be about in her 80s. And covering her shoulders, arms, hands, around her feet and body, on her head and her back, you see easily 100 pigeons. And she comes out and pulls out a couple handfuls of bird seed, puts a little line on her desk, and strews the rest around it. And you see the birds kind of begin to move off of her to where just a couple remain now, hanging out with her. She goes, there we go, my little babies. Okay, yes, my apologies. Gertrude Rossellini in for the prosecution. He goes, thank you, Gertie. And for the defense...
Anton Krovopuskov.
All right, then. Now, we're gathered here today because Anton Krovopuskov, you have been accused of high treason to the Camarilla. For sake of pomp and circumstance, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
All right, so noted. Well then, we're going to begin with opening arguments. Gertie, you go first. Thank you, my Brits. My esteemed court. And as she talks, you can hear just consistent around her. And today we are here to do what few Camarilla have done, and not simply swing an axe. We are here to be better than those big fancy cities. We are here to decide what kind of deeds we are willing to permit in our city. It is my privilege to prove to you that this Tremere poses a significant risk to not only our well-being, but to the masquerade itself. And also to the entire city of Atlanta with his connections to various zealot groups. I thank you. And she hobbles back to her seat and sits down, and the birds begin to jump back onto her shoulders and her heads, and she holds up a little birdseed for him.
I lean over to Aaron. Rossellini. That was the name at your old...
It was a predominantly Giovanni residence. Any relation would be estranged at this point, but...
Okay. No, all right. Anyway, I'm good. I like her.
I lean up. This is actually gonna... I take out all back. I think this is gonna be more interesting.
I've been around town a decent amount, storyteller, and this is a rather distinctive-looking person. Have I seen her anywhere that
You
I've
have
been in the
seen
city of
her
Atlanta?
all over Piedmont Park.
But probably had no idea
No clue.
without, examining.
Right.
So just look at her as she talks. Just, huh.
And it is your turn to give your opening statement.
And I'll just stand my seat. Forgive me, I was expecting somebody else to do this. Kindred of Atlanta? A wise man once told me to examine the man by the sum of his actions, not just bit by bit. Thus, I am here today to show you the truest extent of my loyalty to the city, to Atlanta, and its protection from those who would do it harm. Thank you. I'll step back down.
Goes, all right, now that's out of the way. How we're going to be doing this time is we're going to let the prosecution call all their big fancy witnesses, and then Anton will let you call whoever you want, and then you'll both get chances to cross-examine at the end, all right? Okay, Gertie, call your first witness. She goes,
Okay, I want to start by calling Anton Krovopuskov to the stand.
Need I go to another seat, or is here fine?
You're going to go sit by Alpha.
Very well. No.
and there is a small chair kind of off to the side, similar to like a witness's stand.
And I'll stand and I'll walk towards Alpha, just give him a nod and sit in the chair.
And she hobbles up to you. It takes her an uncomfortably long time to get across the stage. And before she gets close, she holds up and goes,
Are you scared of birds?
No.
Okay.
I know
And
I know that some people are bird people.
and she gets close and goes,
Now, let's begin. How long have you been a member of the Camarilla?
Since 1975.
How long have you been loyal to the Camarilla?
Since 1975.
All right, then, just so we can establish a baseline, could you please recite for me the traditions?
There is the protection of the and upholding of the masquerade. I'm going to get it all out of order. You have me a bit on the spot.
Oh, it doesn't have to be in order. It just has to be correct.
Protection, upholding of the masquerade.
Mm-hmm.
There is the right of destruction that is only given to the one whose domain you are in, particularly the prince. There is the stewardship over one's domain.
Don't fret your pretty little head. I'm sure it's easy to forget such important things in high-stress situations.
It's difficult to recite. It is easy to fall into line with.
Well, let's move along.
habit.
Now that we get into the accusations against you, but first I want to know, why do you feel you're in this seat right now?
Good.
I feel that answering that question serves only to incriminate me further, as opposed to give me any sort of benefit.
So you feel there is accuracy in these accusations?
No, I feel that anything I say will be used against me. As
Ah,
opposed
the
to-
Fifth Amendment. I'm familiar. Thank you. So now, I would like to start by going back a ways, if you don't mind. Think back to our former prince. What did you think of Talbot Rourke?
I thought that up until he admitted to his actions, he was doing his very best to rebuild the city, which is something that I valued highly.
So you felt that the large sum of his tenure was as a good prince. You thought he was great for the city.
What bit I knew of him, I did. Obviously, I could not have known his actions until they came to light.
So you viewed him with loyalty and respect.
I viewed him with respect, and I abided his rule enough to be declared the shepherd to the city.
Wonderful. So then, I have a further question. So when it came time for Prince Talbot Rourke to be executed, why were you the one that volunteered first and eagerly for that job?
I did not wish to... First of all, I did not volunteer eagerly. That is a misrepresentation. Entirely, I might add, because the entire group was...
We are simply going by multiple witness accounts. Please answer the question.
Oh, that's fine. I'll bring my witnesses to the contrary. I volunteered after much debate due to my experience, as the Primogen present put it, with handling such matters.
So you're familiar with killing princes?
I'm familiar with killing people in charge, as I'm sure my reputation precedes me.
I'm sure that in absolutely no way is a problem.
For the Sabbat, it was.
And since you are no stranger to stepping up where you shouldn't, you in fact have stepped up and compromised your own Athenium to Second Inquisition officers, thereby putting them in possession of your own coterie as well as many artifacts that the Camarilla has now had to expend extensive resources to help salvage. Why do you feel that the Camarilla should have to expend these resources instead of dealing with the problem initially?
I'm afraid I cannot answer that because when I had requested, I was told that it was not within the purview. So this is news to me that the...
It was not within your purview.
Well, I cannot answer as to why the Camarilla should expend resources. I was under the impression that they were not, and that this was my loss to bear.
It is your loss of personal belongings to bear. However, simply letting the Second Inquisition get a hold of mountains of artifacts simply cannot stand.
Agreed. I am very glad to hear that the Camarilla has taken the step forward to reclaim it.
Cleaning up your messes has been a task. Which brings me now to the lost childer.
Yes.
How do you feel about your assignment of this position?
I am not always certain that I am the right person for the job, but I do the job that is requested of me because I wish to help the city.
So you feel burdened by this position?
I feel at times not the most qualified, but the one available to help, and the one who is willing to help.
Well, that is certainly an interesting thought. Thank you. You appear to be fond of the position, even continuing your trend of questionable decisions within it. Your first lost childer, a Catherine, you burned alive upon finding out she was an abandoned Sabbat oracle. Was the risk of being found out so soon simply too great that you needed to get rid of the evidence?
Third lost childer. Miss,
Your first Sabbat.
the first admitted Sabbat, but third lost childer. I believe you said it was my first lost childer.
Your first Sabbat.
My first Sabbat lost childer. And to answer your question, that is not the reasoning, and I object to the presumption put forward by your statement.
Then merely correct it.
The statement in which you said is entirely false, Miss Rossellini, I believe it was, and the reason that she was attacked was because she was viewed as a threat by myself and by the other shepherds whom attacked her ahead of me, I might add.
I imagine scuffles are to be had.
50 caliber scuffles are usually reserved for special occasions.
What the hell happened?
A job done by the Banu Hakim. They operate under different rules than you do.
They do.
So if a Banu Hakim were to execute a target, do you feel that also gives you license to execute at will?
I am not the one that executed, so no.
But you are indeed the one that set her on fire. A
Actually-
signature of yours, from what I understand.
If you want a full correction, I did not set her on fire. That was also the Banu Hakim. I simply kept her on fire.
An important distinction to you, I'm sure. So speaking of the Sabbat, my prince, in order to get a better rounded picture of the defendant's current feelings on Sabbat, I request to change who I'm having give testimony. And Alpha just nods and says, all right, I'll allow it. Who do you want to the stand? And oh, Anton, you can go sit down.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you, Miss Rossellini.
Anytime.
And I'll get up and head back to my seat.
I would like to please call the lost child of Jackson of Clan Gangrel to the stand.
What?
What's that?
And Alpha kind of stands up and goes, Jackson, are you here?
Yes.
Get on up here then.
You got this.
Yeah,
I'll hold
apparently.
your whiskey.
Yeah, and I just jump up onto the stage and walk over.
And Alpha's like,
Yeah, that's how I feel. Ma'am.
good evening.
Evening.
All right. So now, how how long have you been with the Sabbat?
I was never technically with Sabbat.
For how long did you have the moniker of a member of the Sabbat?
A month, maybe 2.
And for how long of that were you loyal?
I was never particularly loyal.
Understandable. So do you currently align yourself with Camarilla?
Yes.
You consider yourself loyal to the Camarilla?
I consider myself loyal to the city of Atlanta.
Very well. What caused this change of heart?
Continuous and repeated betrayal and attempted murder.
That's understandable. The Sabbat are filthy little murderers.
Yeah, quite a few of them.
And so the night that you were picked up by the shepherds, you were still Sabbat at that point, is that correct?
I had been working for them for like a week, yeah.
Did you feel that this information was known to the shepherds when you were picked up?
No.
So in frank terms, was this a Sabbat operation to infiltrate the Camarilla?
Yes, those were the directives I was under.
Do you feel that the shepherds took any and all precautions to understand who they were picking up?
I think they did their best.
With the given knowledge that you are not the first Sabbat lost childer that they had encountered, do you feel, in your opinion, that they took necessary steps in order to protect the Camarilla? And a pigeon progressively, moves down her shoulder and onto your lap.
I just put my hand out and see if it climbs on it.
It does.
I'm just gonna look at Alpha from my chair and just go.
She goes, sorry about that. He's too friendly.
That's fine. Can I answer your question by rephrasing it?
You can certainly try.
I would not have done the things they did, but I think that they did what they thought was best.
Very well. Let me try rephrasing my own a bit better. Do you feel that your operation to infiltrate the Camarilla went a little too easily?
It was easier than I expected, but I don't think it went too easily. If I can be blunt, and no offense to the people I actually call my friends now, they're not always the brightest when it comes to things like this. So, yeah, it was easy, but that's just ignorance, not maliciousness.
And what now has you calling them friends when they were once the people you were aiming to use and betray?
I had a change of heart.
And what would cause such a change of heart?
Betrayal, repeated murder.
As previously cited. And so Anton Krovopuskov brought you and your associate into the home of a primogen with no assurances of your loyalties or statuses. Is that correct?
Yes, but I'm under the impression that that was general MO.
Prince Alpha, is this the part where I say objection due to falsified information?
Alpha goes, stop it, you get your own chance next.
Oh, goody.
Do you have a previous connection with the defendant?
Before I met them that evening?
Correct.
No.
Are you aware of his nickname through the final nights of King Killer?
I have since become aware of it, yes.
You were not aware at the time?
No.
Okay.
I'd never heard of him before.
Did you have knowledge of the shepherds before you met them?
Yes, I was told that people would be meeting me. I didn't know anything about them as individuals.
And this instruction came from the bishop herself?
That's a good... Talked about, I remember. Yes. To the best of my recollection.
To the best of your recollection, this was a plan of hers. Whether someone else gave you the instruction.
Yeah.
Understand. And do you feel now that the Sabbat menace has been dealt with, or do you feel that it has still not properly been addressed?
Oh, it has absolutely not been properly addressed, no. There are a lot more of them to kill.
We appreciate your candor. I will make sure that you are reached out to for your unique information. That's all. No further questions. You can go now.
Cool. Good luck. And I jump back down off the stage and walk over and sit down.
And she hobbles back over to her desk a little bit. And she goes, "One moment, Your Honor, my prince." And she kind of holds her arms down, and the pigeons that were on her arms kind of all come off and start eating at the bird seed, and the ones that were already eating come onto her arms, just very changing of the guard style of pigeons.
It's a fresh bird.
It's not even her final form.
I wonder if they work as, like, fortitude.
And so, as you guys, as she's doing this, it does take a considerable amount of time. You will have a moment to talk amongst yourselves.
So, I really meant no offense. Like, I think that sometimes, not you in particular, but the group act very rashly.
We can be very trusting.
Yes, which I personally think is a mistake, but, I mean, I'm proof positive of that, sadly.
So, Sabbat trying to hang out is not a new thing for you guys.
No.
Yeesh.
No.
There are ears around us. We can do this later. Later, when certain people can't hear. Interesting.
Pippa, if you get called, are you going to be able to hold yourself together?
I won't get called. I won't get called.
Okay. There's just very few Tremere in the city,
There are.
and even fewer in this room, so as a common connection between at least just basis of clan.
To be fair, I'm trying to say this as low as possible, just in case Dot is hiding under my chair, because there is always a Nosferatu 2 feet away from you at all times.
Beetlejuice, yeah.
Yes. Yes. At every time. To be fair, publicly I've only been seen with you twice. I never knew about him. I've never seen him in my life.
I also do not know about him.
So let's do more formal introductions now that people
I
are...
would love to pick your brain.
Maybe not right now.
I know, right now, because Dot is probably, I don't know, figured out a way to put 30 different versions of herself into every single seat.
So Jackson.
Jackson, this is Pippa and Sybil.
Sybil.
That's Sybil.
That's
Yes.
Sybil. Hi, nice to meet you both.
Hello. Would have been more fun to do it under different circumstances, but now's as good as any. There's booze, sort of entertainment.
Yes, and
Entertainment. It's a word for it.
I thought there wasn't going to be a splash zone, but I guess there's a pigeon zone, so that's something.
That's a pigeon zone. I didn't know that was a thing. Animals hate me. Is that a vampire thing?
Yes.
Ah.
Some of them can be more friendly with
Also
creatures.
remember, it's kindred, not vampire.
You know, every single one of those could actually be just a gangrel, for all we know.
Could. Yep, that's...
Hope not.
Wait, I'm sorry.
I've been led to believe that some
That's a bad
people
idea.
are bird people.
Oh.
I am sometimes
I doubt
a
it,
bird
but there
person.
is proof.
I feel I could find out, but I feel like that's a really bad idea.
No, yeah, I wouldn't. I feel like we're not really supposed to be pulling pigeons out of hats or people out of pigeons.
Haven't you heard the birds work for the bourgeoisie?
Storyteller. On the subject of multiple Tremere, on the subject of not too many Tremere around the city, do I see any of my old coterie Tremere? Dr. Carter, Dr. O'Donnell. I know Dr. Mendes said she wouldn't be showing up in the audience.
The only one here is Dr. O'Donnell.
That'll work. Okay.
And Dr. O'Donnell is at the back.
But I can see him.
Okay.
I have a question for later.
Okay, I'll make a note.
This is not what I expected, actually. Has this happened here before? This sort of
No.
trial?
Usually trials are more the highest up person says what they think. A sword falls, and that's it.
That's what I'm used to, usually being on the receiving end of the sword, barely.
So this is new then?
This is probably a more public step towards affirming that we are what we say we are.
Fair.
You know how your dad hates everything about me.
Yeah.
This kind of pageantry, kind of why I hate everything about this. There are reasons for everything.
And with that, we are going to take a quick break. And I do want to thank chat for letting us know about all of our connectivity issues. We are going to use our break to work on that for you, okay? We'll be back in just a little bit. welcome back. Hopefully everything is smoothed out for all of y'all. Feel free to let us know in the chat if any issues persist. We're still settling into our studio here, which means an entirely new tech setup. So that new tech setup is going to come with a couple hiccups, and it's hard to test unless you're live.
Too many people with Oblivion in the same room.
Yes,
Sorry.
too many people with Oblivion in the same room.
Not all of us have the Bane.
But thank you guys again so much for telling us. You guys help us keep this going, so thank you, seriously. And so, let's get back to the show. And so Gertie, after letting her pigeons swap out and have their lunch, she finally, comes back to her desk and goes,
Okay, I would like to call Mr. Aaron Ulrich of Clan Gangrel, please.
Godspeed.
Tag team.
Yeah.
Yes.
and so you make your way up to the stage and to the seat. And Gertie walks over to you. And one of the pigeons is like kind of checking you out, like looking for food maybe, and then just settles in on Gertie's shoulder. She goes,
Hello, Mr. Ulrich. It's my understanding that you've been through quite a lot this past year or so, on top of already being a lost childer, is that correct?
It has been a rough year.
I understand. My apologies.
Why? Were you responsible?
No, it's just an unfortunate situation. It's a southern thing. We apologize when others feel inconvenienced, and
From what my evidence tells me, you have been quite inconvenienced. You've been captured by the Second Inquisition. You've been experimented on multiple times, been staked multiple times, and been given powers beyond the capabilities of your clan. It was your coterie that saved you, was it not?
Yes.
Wonderful. They got you into that predicament, so it makes sense they get you out. But they didn't get you out that quickly, now did they? You still came out altered from the experiments, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Evidence suggests you were able to stabilize that power you received with help from an outside source, yes?
Yes, that is correct.
And how did you do that?
Objection, relevance to my case?
And Alpha goes, I told you can deal with... Anton, just keep your mouth shut. You can object and ask all your menial questions whenever you want. Just not right now. Let Gertie have her fucking time. She's old as time itself. Just let her do it. She goes, thank you, Prince.
As you said, I was put through quite a ringer of experimentation and torture and several other unpleasantries. And through those experiences, I was left scattered internally. And there was an opportunity to stabilize that and not be a danger to myself or others. And that was through feeding off of Anton.
Anton does not have oblivion, so how were you able to stabilize it through him?
I was under the impression that I was just needing to feed. And I usually don't feed straight from the tap.
And a pigeon jumps off of her arm up your shoulder and pecks you in the cheek. She goes, oh, now, Charlie only does that if someone's lying.
I'm just gonna look at Anton like, and I'm gonna look at Alpha like, what?
She goes, that only happens if someone's lying. Now, I understand that you probably were put in a situation that left you a bit uncomfortable with some of the decisions you had to make. You don't need to name names, we just need to know the truth of how you stabilized this.
I apologize. I fed from a La Sombra.
Thank you for your honesty. And the pigeon jumps off and comes back up to her. She said, and once you were stabilized, the defendant did what he could to get that power from you for himself, did he not?
No.
How did Anton come to possess this power then, as you were the only one close to him with it?
Anton did feed from me with the intention of using his studies and learnings to stabilize his coterie mate and friend.
Indeed. Indeed.
Anton just raises his hand and just is like looking at Alpha like, what the fuck is this?
Alpha's like, I swear to fucking God, Anton.
I'm sorry, she said I don't have it, and now she says I do have it. I need to know which one it is for my notes.
Anton, are you absolutely dumb right now?
I'm trying to understand what I'm being accused of here. Either I have this, or I do not.
Gertie, please explain the obvious to him. She goes, of course, I wouldn't want to be unclear. Mr. Krovopuskov, you clearly did not have oblivion when it came to stabilize Aaron. Aaron then obtained oblivion. You then chose to obtain it from him. Is that clear enough for you?
Thank you. It was not clear when you said it the first time.
I will make sure to be more clear in the future.
Thank you, Miss Rossellini.
Anytime.
Thank you.
So,
That's pretty cool.
to help me understand, did you not feel that your imprisonment and the experimentations and everything and your solidifying of your powers was something that it was important for the court to be made aware of at the time?
I was put in that situation because the court did not act quick enough. And after you have a stain, it is difficult to remove it.
And so after you managed to escape the first time, this is the only one I'm speaking of at the moment to make sure that I am clear. You did not report to your court, your primogen, your prince, of what you experienced. Why do you feel that that was not relevant to do?
Because I was not thinking straight.
Understandable, we all make mistakes in times of stress. Were you and your coterie positive that nothing made you a threat to yourself or to others or to the masquerade?
I don't have a clear answer for that.
Very well. You see, we simply have to clarify because by not notifying your court, your primogen, your prince, why you took the policing of this matter into your own hands. So we have to make sure that you did this because you truly thought that this was the best course of action and that you have been properly evaluated by the ones around you.
I want to make sure, am I on trial or is Anton?
Anton is on trial, dear. I assure you everything is relevant if you will just answer my questions so I can get to my points.
I was scared. It is not easy to admit that, but I was scared of what would happen if I mixed, if I got close, if I was still being tracked. I just didn't want to put anyone at risk.
Your coterie, were they also scared?
I can't speak to my coterie. I just know that they were there for me.
So this was a collective decision to withhold information?
No, it was my decision and they were there for me.
Very well. So then let's move on. You were taken again and replaced with what, for purpose of this trial, we are going to refer to as a creature that was designed to look like you. This creature was even along with your coterie, and the prince was never informed of this, nor was he involved in the decision to continue allowing this creature to operate among our kindred society. While the prince uncovered the creature's origin, your sudden presence at a private meeting was a threat, and Prince couldn't verify at the time who or what you were. And so, what happened had to happen. Were you aware that the information about this creature had been withheld from the prince?
I was not. I came first to warn and then to seek action. My coterie, from what I understood, was in a dangerous place. I had no understanding that there was someone already in my shoes.
Thank you very much. Additionally, we do know that you alerted the prince of your coterie's infiltration of the Second Inquisition building. For that, we very much thank you. You appeared frustrated, though, with the prince's lack of action, so I want to clarify for everyone, what are the steps that you would have preferred the prince taken in the situation?
The SI was concentrated in one spot. My coterie was there. I understand that it was risky to get them out. I am not the prince, so I cannot make a judgment call.
But you were quite cross with him for not doing something, so please answer my question. What would you have had him do?
I would have had him protect his people.
By? My apologies, let me be clear. I'm looking for the specific course of action you would have had Alpha take.
I would have had him use the resources at hand to rescue his shepherds.
Which resources would those be?
He has full disposal of the city's kindred, of the city's Garu, in coordination.
So you would have wanted Alpha, our dear prince, to conscript every Tom, Dick, and Harry on the streets to do something because you wanted it done, therefore putting their lives at risk. Innocent kindred who have no bearing on the situation that you are dealing with. You want our prince to make the call to sign a death warrant on other kindred of this city for your personal gain.
No. I want the prince to use his primogen, his counsel, and his awareness that he has gained from the Garu of those facilities of the SI to infiltrate, to act, and to put together a team that can rescue the shepherds that have done so much for this city. Not to throw kindred at a fan and hope that something sticks.
Interesting. So, your actual preference, then, is for the prince to have done exactly what he was doing, but in a more timely fashion to your discretion.
I would have appreciated that insight rather than a cold dismissal.
Need I remind you, if no one has as of recent, Alpha is the prince of this city. You are a citizen of this city. Whatever Alpha has to do to protect us and take care of us is none of your damn business.
I would strongly word, if I may,
Be as strongly worded as you wish, dear.
that you cannot protect people by letting them die.
History would see it differently, my dear.
And history has been wrong. I know that I am not as legally eloquent as you. I know I'm not a member of any council or leaders of any clan, but I do have weight that I can help provide, that I've shown to the city, and I just hope that people higher up will listen before things on the bottom start burning up to catch up with them.
And have you taken initiative before to take place within the court or seek out an official position?
No,
Why is that?
I'm not strong enough.
But you seem to have strong ideas of how this court should run itself.
There are strong soldiers and there are strong leaders.
So you think every single primogen up here is capable of being a strong soldier, and that some of them are not in their position solely because they are good thinkers?
No.
So
think
let me ask again, why have you never taken initiative to do more within the court since you have so many bold ideas?
I respect my leaders of the clan too much. Denise does an excellent job. Alpha does an excellent job. I just wish that they would listen to more than what they alone can think up.
And you're positive that that's all they do? You are positive with every fact that you have witnessed and every fact that you know, dear, that Alpha does nothing but serve his own thoughts and whims and never listens to those of others?
No.
That seems to be what you are alluding, so please make it clear.
I just think that he's not communicating. If he has a plan in action, I wish he would have told me. If it wasn't specific enough for me at my level in the ladder to understand, that's fine. But staking me and leaving me in a closet for months is not an appropriate response to communication. You can't just keep...
I would like to reiterate, he thought you were full of bugs at the time.
And if you stab a sack full of bugs, they leak with bugs, not blood. I wish...
Interesting, because that is not something that we had intel of at the time.
And I'm pretty sure that if you take the stake out or stab it again, he could have Freddy Kruegered me. I am me. I am Aaron. I have always been me.
So you wish that your prince would have brutalized you to prove a point, instead of taking the hope that perhaps you were not a creature.
No.
Did it ever potentially occur to you that the prince left you, as you say, in a closet because he had hope for you? Or has that thought not occurred to you?
No, it had not.
One might think that such thoughts would occur to you had you more experience with the court. If you have such bold ideas of how the court should behave, perhaps you should seek out being able to express those ideas in a healthy manner. Forgive me, that is a personal interjection.
Once again, without interrupting, I'm just looking at Alpha and pointing at her and going,
Thank you for the feedback.
So now to move on. How much do you know about Anton Krovopuskov?
A fair amount.
What do you consider a fair amount? Years? In-depth? Intimacy?
I've known him for years. No intimate relations. But a level that has gained a lot of trust that is hard to get with other kindred.
The intimacy of a deep friendship.
Yes.
Has he ever made decisions that you did not feel were the best option at the time?
Yes.
Can you please provide some examples?
No.
Any time that Anton has made you cross with a decision of his, you don't need to specify the times or specifically the conditions if you feel that those are private information.
Yes, there was a particular instance where I was particularly cross with him, and it ended up being better for me and everyone else that he took a tough decision that led to everyone being alive at the end of the night.
Able to make the tough calls when need be.
Able to make the right calls when stubborn people can't see them.
I do appreciate your choice of wordage there. Are you aware of his reputation from the final nights? His nickname of King Killer and how he earned it?
Vaguely.
What is it that you do know?
I know that he was very effective at helping secure the city for the Camarilla.
Were you ever within his Athenium?
On several occasions.
Were you aware of the amount of artifacts and their origins?
I was aware of many artifacts, but not their origins.
So a now missing particular set of, we'll call them trophies, sets of rosaries, significant to the Sabbat. Did you ever lay eyes on those?
Not that I can recall.
I'm sorry, did you say missing?
Everything from your Athenium is missing. I will not address you again. In your time with the defendant, have you, in your opinion, noticed him having a disproportionate reaction, positive or negative, towards known Sabbat?
If you're asking that a kindred is privy to emotional responses, then yes.
That was not what I asked. Let me be more clear.
Yes.
I hate her.
Have you seen Anton act out of sorts, positively or negatively, at the either realization that he is around a Sabbat or other such situations?
Yes. In the visibly negative response.
Thank you. And what of the Sabbat childer that were brought in? Did he make attempts to assure that they were not a risk to Primogen Olivia Grace before bringing them into her domain? I understand that you heard all of Jackson's answers, but these are your opinions.
After the incident with Catherine, we were given the context that bringing in kindred, regardless of whatever lens for Camarilla or Sabbat there are, that the lost childer aspect of their description was more important. So yes, he took precautions of bringing them in safely with the context that they are still lost childer first.
Indeed, we would never treat lost childer different. We simply must assess the risk of every situation. We can handle Sabbat quite easily. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't know when they're entering our home. I myself have adopted many feral cats in my day, but you need to know which ones bite. But you were also a lost childer yourself,
Yes.
to reiterate. Was this immediately after the final nights or more recently?
This was more recently.
During Talbot Rock?
Correct.
Thank you. From what I hear from Olivia, you were trained quite well, star pupil. No doubt she instilled the dangers of the Sabbat to you.
Of course.
So then why, may I ask, have the shepherds now have 2 private meetings with the Sabbat Bishop Lydia without notifying the prince? Is that clear enough for you?
It was. We have met with Lydia a few times. First, in the context of seeking out what she is doing here, and second, with the intention of pulling up the weeds before they grow.
And you felt no need to notify your prince about it?
We did notify the prince the second time,
And what of the first?
and the first was complicated.
As the Sabbat do often like to make it. It never occurred to you that the prince might need to be aware of it?
We did let the prince know. It just wasn't as quickly as it could have been.
Yes. I am to understand that we had to expend quite a number of resources trying our best to recover camera footage to find out what happened due to the lack of information.
It is unfortunate that such usually secure footage was not usually secure.
So you find yourself having multiple clandestine meetings with the head of the Sabbat, the bishop. How did you feel about these meetings?
At first, I did not know what to think of Lydia, and then very quickly towards the end of the meeting realized that every single person on the other side of the glass was Sabbat, ready to kill us.
Yes, that is how traps work.
So when we did notify Alpha, we got the clear to take Lydia out.
And so instead of taking Lydia out, you took her out on another meeting.
Yes.
Thank you for that clarification. No further questions at this time, my prince, if you do not mind. I would like a quick break. And Alpha stands up and goes, yeah, Aaron, you can go sit down.
Okay.
Alpha.
Jackson, are you seriously addressing me right now?
Yeah.
I swear to God, boy.
Nah, I think...
And Amon stands a little closer
I ignore him.
to where Alpha is on the stage.
I have information I don't think you have that might be relevant.
Fucking hell.
May Jackson approach my prince?
Jackson, walk with me to the back. All y'all fucking act right till I get back.
I get up and I walk over.
And Amon meets you where the stage is and escorts you back towards Alpha
Okay.
to a back private room.
Mm-hmm.
And Alpha goes, fucking hell, this thing's turning into a shit show. What do you got?
You actually set up the shepherds to meet with Lydia once, and I don't think you know it.
Care to explain?
What's her face? The woman from the Southern Belle antebellum chick who was...
You have described 85% of Atlanta.
She was from out of town.
You have described 75% of Atlanta.
It's when I met you. You asked them to show her around and help her find a place in the city.
At the museum?
Yeah. That was Lydia.
You didn't think that was important to share literally any time except an hour and a half into a fucking trial that I gotta deal with a fire on my nuts right now?
Frankly, I forgot about it because it wasn't important.
Jesus Christ. Jackson,
Yeah. I'm trying to help.
I'm gonna tan your fucking hide when we're done with this.
Fair.
Woo!
Spice.
Ship it.
Anything else I need to know?
That was the only thing that just popped up when the meetings with Lydia. I was like, hold on.
You got any other Sabbat goodies hidden in your bag I need to know about?
Yeah, if I do, they would be severed heads, so no, sadly.
Any of those fuckers here right now? I imagine you would know.
None that I recognize other than someone who I suspect is, but, well, she's not on trial.
Don't speak in fucking riddles. I'm already tired.
Oh, you're Nosferatu, Primogen.
Yeah,
I know.
Anton started that shit already.
Yeah, I know. I was there. So, hence.
All right, your mutual accordance is duly noted or whatever.
She's the only reason that Lydia knew we were trying to set her up for a trap, so.
You do know there are also Nosferatu in the Sabbat, and you were in the goddamn Sabbat. They're fucking tailing you 24/7, you dumb shit.
I'm aware. I've killed most of them.
You think they ain't tailing your buddies? Half the information we got has come from bullshit that I don't know where it came from.
Don't you think it's a good idea to find out?
Don't you think I got a lot of fucking shit to do than chase down every little do you like me, check yes or no?
I will tell you what I told Anton, actually. Information flows very freely in this city, and it is very concerning for its safety.
Yeah, I have become aware. That is why we are fucking here right now. You got anything else?
Only personal opinions.
Might as well, go ahead.
Oh, no, we're good. We're good.
All right.
Carry on.
You keeping your mouth shut, that's new.
Mm.
You interrupt my trial again, and I will fucking rip your face off and put it on a raccoon. I am not even shitting you.
Rankin Jackson.
You gonna keep your fucking mouth shut? Alright, get back out there, shit. And I'm on, leads you back out to your seat the whole time, just like...
He's gonna watch Jackson.
What up, tall and silent?
Sit down.
My pulse.
I'm gonna watch Jackson as he walks through. And the moment I make eye contact with him, just a voice that pops into Jackson's head that goes, "Go well."
Everything good?
Oh yeah, peachy keen.
Okay.
And so Alpha goes back to his seat. He goes, next person to open their fucking mouth is getting beheaded. I don't even give a shit right now. I am too tired for this.
Sounds more like what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And the room just kind of, yes, sir. And he goes, all right. After whoever we call next, I'm going to take a recess and process and figure the fuck out this entire past couple hours. And after that, Anton, you'll get to call whoever you want in a reasonable time frame. Gertie is keeping it to, I got 4 on my list, so choose your best 4, I guess.
Is that including the cross-examination or not?
Who you want to cross-examine?
I was asking for clarification. I'm a bit new to this.
Is gonna count in your 4. You pick 4 people. 4 people's who you gonna talk to.
Thank you.
Shit. Nobody else watched Law and Order in this damn building? Alright. And after you get to go, then we're gonna let Gertie do any follow-up questions from any information that came up from your shit. And you get to do any follow-up questions that came from any new Gertie information.
Thank you.
Make sense?
Much more. Thank you.
You'll both get a chance to talk to bucket 1, 2 more people. Get your final questions in. And then I'll deal with this. This is a lot. Y'all talk so fucking much. Alright. Okay, Gertie, go ahead whenever you're fucking ready. And Gertie's distracted for a moment with her pigeons because that was a whole bit of time back there, and she just, oh, yes, absolutely. Okay, I would like to call the Nosferatu Primogen Dot Matrix to the stand. And Dot just stands up very gracefully, nods down to Gertie, and it'll take her a bit to come down as she's up in the balcony. And so, as she's doing that, Gertie's kind of rearranging pigeons. Right now, just... Oh, no, you go over here.
I want to listen, but I shouldn't.
Here you go. Here you go. There, see? Ain't that nice? Ain't that nice? Good baby. And Dot goes to take her seat. But she raises her hand for a moment and looks to Alpha. She says, my prince, if I may, at your discretion, as the accusations that the defense has made towards me are part of the reason we're all here to begin with, I honestly don't feel that I'm capable of being impartial to the prosecution's questions. Feelings of personal slight might color my responses. And that, honestly, is not the type of precedence that I think we should set as we hope to do these trials in the future. I would like to offer a simple statement that the accusations come after a long list of concerns, and thus I feel it was an attempt to silence me. I would like to request that I only be allowed to be questioned by the defense. And Alpha kind of blinks a few times, and he looks over at her. He goes, you sure about that? He goes, yes, sir, as long as you feel that gives the best outcome of fairness. And he says, fine, I'll grant it. Go sit back down. And Dot stands and goes, thank you for preserving the fairness of this trial.
What a joke.
And she walks back to her seat slowly. And it's in watching Dot walk back that you can now see who is sitting among the line. And for those of you that recall, Mooney is here. And she's there, and she is completely still. Her eyes have not moved from Gertie the entire time.
I'm gonna look straight at Mooney. I know she's not looking away from Gertie, I'm looking right at her.
Yeah, she is laser focused at this point.
Storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to activate heightened senses.
Okay.
And I am going to get a very good sense of what Dot smells like.
Okay.
Bitch.
Okay.
That's all.
Would you like specifics or just notating that it is a smell you would recognize?
I would like to note that Jackson has memorized what she smells like.
Okay.
And then I turn
Jackson
it back
would
off.
not. Jackson would not be aware of
I've never met Dot before.
the particulars of Armani perfume.
Yeah, no. And I've also never met her before, so.
Particulars.
Yes.
And then I turn it back off.
Okay. Okay. And so Alpha goes, you know what? I'm gonna fucking recess now. You all mill about, get some refreshments. I guess I call y'all bailiffs. You're sheriffs right now, but y'all know the fucking word. They're watching you. I gotta go think. I'll be back. And Alpha leaves the stage, and Gertie's she seems to have almost turned off that side of her personality, and she's just back to a nice little pigeon lady.
I am gonna lean up in between these two fine gentlemen, whisper very low again because Dot
Yes.
is everywhere. Just for context, you have seen Dot at with Lydia, have you?
No.
I have. Also that the horrifying looking one. Yes. And
Which one?
Oh, tall, dark, and doesn't talk.
tall, dark, and murder.
Oh, the bitch.
Oh, that's what we're doing. Name calling.
I
To be
mean-
fair.
He kind of looks like a bitch.
I would not. There's someone else here too. Well, not here, but do I know if? Because I saw both Amon and then
Lucida.
Do I know if Lucida is still in the city?
Lucida went quiet along with everyone else. Amon is the only one who has really been out and active since the Banu Hakim are permitted to be in the city, and he is still currently hunting Cirrus
Okay.
due to Banu Hakim betrayal.
Okay. Does the name Lucida Dargon mean anything to either of you?
That's an old name, yes.
It's an old name.
No.
It's a very old name. Well, you're false Sabat. It wouldn't.
She was one of, I guess, the boogeyman that Olivia would preach about at the school.
Sometimes the boogeymen exist and are seen in company with your Nosferatu primogen.
It's good we have a Banu Hakim, whatever that boogeyman is, and the queen bitch herself.
It's not good.
I'll keep the list in mind when I start killing all of them. By the way, Aaron, I don't think I ever actually told you this. Do you remember that lovely old southern woman that we showed around and helped find an apartment a few months back?
Yes.
That was Lydia,
So you helped my mom find an apartment.
which Alpha didn't know either. So I just let him know.
Sounds like Alpha doesn't know a lot about what goes on in his
Great,
city.
great. Well,
Accurate.
that's actually
This is
nice, so that way I didn't, perjure myself.
Yeah, no, I
Get
wanted to
pecked
point
by a
out
pigeon
that
again?
I felt it important to point out that
Okay.
he doesn't know everything going on around here either, and maybe not knowing something isn't necessarily an offense.
Can I say something that I don't? It's just a question, but it's very dangerous.
use your big boy words.
Do you want to wait till we're not here?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just so everyone knows, I am desperately trying to disinvest myself from my current affiliation. However, this is not giving me a lot of confidence in this city's political structure, and this is what I was talking about.
It's better than someone who will kill you because she felt like it. And all your friends.
She didn't kill my friends.
Oh, well, she killed all mine.
You killed all my friends.
I kill a lot of Sabat.
Pippa, I will only say that I'm sorry you're going through this.
Are you?
As someone who very recently was put on the stand to publicly say that he was scared for being attacked and tortured and stored, I am sorry that you're having a rough time and that your friends tried to kill me and I killed them first.
Yeah. Speaking of you being staked by our inglorious leader, he knew about the bug versions before we did?
Yeah, timing-wise, I guess that makes sense.
Well, that's some horse shit.
How so?
Because could have warned us too.
Huh.
And it took me stalking the other version of you basically to figure it out, and then immediately fucking told him, but they're gonna leave that information out.
It doesn't make for good
That is
television.
true. We did go to him directly,
Yeah.
wherever we were.
But afterwards I'm thinking when you found out that I wasn't me.
Whether there was another you.
At the time that we went to him, or I went to him. Right, because you weren't with me. We went to
We
see
did go,
Elijah.
and then I got Jedi mind tricked, as you guys do, which I'm not appreciative of.
But we went to the other, her child, you and I. Why didn't she let anyone know that we knew?
Hex.
Yeah, we met. We
Hex
went.
very recently found out that she had been forced to remember something else. Alejandro very recently helped her clear that up.
So she's had fingers in her brain.
Yeah, she kind of wanted to punch me in the face.
And apparently ripped off my door.
Yeah.
I gave her a bloodstone, correct? Yes.
Yes, you did, but at this point it would have
Yeah,
dissipated.
it was inert by the time that she found it.
Yep.
Does anyone know about Hex?
Alejandro?
No, like, did Dot have permission to embrace her?
I don't think so.
Seems to be an
That
awful
is
lot of that happening.
that is a separate can of worms because that is a offense that could potentially get Hex killed, and I like Hex. So maybe we keep that to ourselves for now, but that's important to know.
And just because I've had heightened senses on, because I'm sitting by myself, you hear in your head, that is the gun in the back of my pocket. And as I look over at you,
I don't like that he can talk in my head.
Who's
I'm
talking
sorry.
about that?
What?
Nothing important.
It's fine.
Little gangrel thing going on. Right?
Yeah. It's the pigeons.
Okay.
So,
Hey,
There-
quick question.
Mm.
Ken, hating what I'm seeing here. Think your prince is a big dumb idiot, hot big dumb idiot. Can you give me a reason why I should set myself on fire and let anyone know what I know?
Nope. I can't.
And do you? Actually, I'll wait till you answer. I'm still listening.
I was going to say, you only very recently have met Anton, and I've only even more recently than that getting to know you. I wouldn't, and I'm in my head thinking the stats wise for a new coterie of Gangrel, La Sombra, and a new Tremere. No. No, it's a very difficult question, because once you put yourself out there, even if your information breaks the case, you may not survive.
Because I think the more important question here is whether or not this is all for show.
Oh, it's absolutely all for show. That's all
I
that
would
it can
agree.
be.
Dot's
It's all
doing
for sure.
something.
Dot's
the fact
pulling
that there's
all
even a
of the
trial makes me question that, but
strings. She's pulling all of the strings somehow. I know she is.
well, that whole fuckery of no, I don't want to taint the integrity of the trial was complete horseshit. She's up to something.
No, she is.
It's like you're playing old maid, and you suddenly get passed the bad card, and you don't want it. Now she's part of the defense to taint it.
Why wouldn't she want Gertie to talk to her?
Because the pigeons can tell lies?
Hey, he seemed pretty good. Just saying, you should use him as an attorney. Just the pigeon.
I mean, I could talk to him. What do you think?
Question for you.
Yeah.
I know you like your brother.
I do.
I know. He's interesting. Seeing what you've seen tonight, if I asked you to leave the city with me, would you do it? And leave this behind? And is there a chance that you will come with me and stay alive?
Running.
Not running. Keeping yourself safe, keeping yourself alive.
It's running.
It's not running, it is doing the smart thing.
But what if doing the smart thing means that eventually I wake up and I'm not a human at all anymore? At that point, there's not a reason to survive.
We're all humans. All of us. All of us here. We're all humans. We've always been humans. What we are is... Have you ever thought of... Will you leave with me?
I can't leave.
Okay.
Interesting perspective from you.
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of religious reading, and some things have changed within me.
I am not a weak little girl anymore. And I'm not running. Not from anybody. And not now. Not when I only have a few people in my court. My friend group is abysmally small, and if they are hell-bent on doing this, then they can eat my ass. I'm tired of this. Everybody is trying to kill everybody. All the time.
Yep.
Doesn't matter who it is. So I'll just protect my people as best I can.
Okay. How do we let him know my information?
Which one?
The prince.
Oh, yeah.
If I say it out loud and the birds don't go...
My guess is, since Anton is putting his defense together, he will let us know. I don't want to spoil anything because it's not my head at risk. He's very diligent about gathering information.
He's a Tremere. We're always have been very good at that.
So I would trust him with the next step.
In all fairness, I would like to You know what? No.
There is still the school. You've been around for a while, but still could be a lost childer.
Yeah.
It's essentially taking asylum when moving or fleeing a country. There are options for you.
Dot knows I know. I know she knows. She has put me up. If I go in there, I have no protection at all. I
Yes,
am
you do.
dead meat.
Yeah, keep in mind that no one but us completely mistrusts Dot.
Pippa, I think your information is extremely helpful. I don't think it exactly has to come straight from you, though.
Okay.
So we can pass it along. And me having connections to the prince through being a gangrel helps.
What if I write a letter?
Strongly worded letter.
Strongly worded letter.
That normally
Let's,
solves things.
you know what? We'll enter it into evidence.
Yeah. Strongly worded letter. Does anyone have a pen and paper? Does anyone have paper?
No.
No,
Fuck.
it's the 21st century.
I'm gonna go get some bar napkins, and I'm gonna go up and go get some bar napkins and start writing down my testimony.
Good.
Okay, a bar napkin testimony submitted.
That's gonna be nice and official.
That is a very good country album. Bar
There.
napkin testimony.
There we go. And so we will allow during the break of this episode and the next episode for you to submit your bar napkin testimony.
Okay. Yes.
And Anton, during
I'm-
all this time, you've had your time to sit there and listen to all this, but what has been going on for you?
I've been sitting and listening. I'm trying to roll over. I've been trying to roll over the like why Dot would only be questioned by me, and then I hear the thing about the pigeons. So I'm gonna look through the crowd and try to find O'Donnell again in there.
He's in the back. He's reading a book.
Like head down, no way for me to see his eyes whatsoever.
Yeah, like book up. You can kind of see the top half of his face,
Alright.
and
Can I see his eyes? Is my question.
yes.
Then looking straight at him, I'm going to think at him. They don't know you can pull the truth out of people. But I do.
And you get word back from O'Donnell. It says, the last thing you need right now is the truth.
What do I need?
And you hear O'Donnell in a surprisingly good singing voice say, talk less, smile more. And then in a regular, non-joking, strict, don't let them know what you're against and what you're for.
You do know that I'll need to call you.
My retainer is $1,000.
You do know that I need to legally call you. As character witness. As the only one who is there.
You get back. Be careful what you wish for.
That's all I've got, O'Donnell.
You might regret that.
Let's hope I don't.
I will be honest, and I don't think that's what you need right now.
I need somebody who knows that even if I do it as stupidly as possible, I do it for the city and not for the Sabbat. That is my accusation, yes?
You don't know what your accusation is. And you don't need someone up there who has seen the absolute worst of you to tell the city what kind of monster you can be. It doesn't matter what side you are on. What I know about you is too damning. But if it's a risk you want, it's a risk I'll do.
We'll see how many cards I have left in my hand.
All right, leave me alone. I'm reading Pride and Prejudice.
Bronte's better, and I'll leave him alone.
Oh, Anton, no.
And at your comment, he like looks up from his book real quick.
I wink at him.
He looks back down at him. And as you look away from O'Donnell, you see Dot looking at you. And she just smiles. Gives you a bit of a wave. And you watch as she's just sitting there looking at you. She's just tapping her face right on her cheekbone. Looking at you. Just smiling.
Anything look off about her from how I normally perceive her?
No.
Face still looks really slappable.
Mm. I'll just mouth. See you soon.
She mouths back to you. Good luck. And Proctor is staring at the crowd, kind of flitting her vision between you, Alpha's seat, the grotesque amount of pigeons, O'Donnell, the group. And for the first time that you've ever seen with Proctor, she seems to be genuinely worried.
Is Falcon up there?
Yes.
Is she looking at me or somewhere else?
Falcon is currently looking as covertly as she can, though she's not good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Looking covertly down the line of Primogen, kind of sort of taking in and monitoring how everyone's behaving right now.
Mm-hmm.
But she appears to be immensely preoccupied.
I take note that she's there.
Time to circle the wizard wagons.
But she definitely looks like she has somewhere else to be. But not in a bored way, but in a stressed out kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to be somewhere else right now.
I'm gonna gesture for Georgina if she's nearby.
She is, and she hops up onto the stage and comes over to you and goes, "You need, like, drink or something?"
No, I'm, as you may have seen, I'm unfamiliar with the protocol. Things are a bit,
Yeah, we're kind of making this up as we go.
I was gonna say, things are a bit different than Law and Order, despite what the prince says.
Well, we're trying to make Kindred talk too much. We're trying to make sure that everybody gets a chance to talk.
I appreciate that. On the notion of talking,
Uh-huh.
Dick Whitwolf.
if I wish to call one of the Primogen as a witness, do I need to speak with them beforehand, or do I just spring it on them?
No, you can just say whatever name you want.
Okay. May I talk with one of them beforehand, or do I have to just spring it on them?
See,
Even if you were supervising it?
no, my thought is if you talk to them before it's like a court thing, then, I mean, in my opinion, look, I'm not going to say whether I think you're guilty or not, but, I
I would think that you guys like planned something.
Understandable.
Planned some kind of.
That's why I asked.
Hoopla.
That's why I asked if you monitored if it would be any different.
No, it's gonna look bad either way.
That's fair. I imagine I can't call you then as the witness, considering that you know how I felt about this spot.
Oh no, we're the bailiffs. We're not allowed to do that.
And we're talking.
Yeah, I'm allowed to talk to you. I'm not allowed for you to call me.
It's a shame, considering that you know exactly how we felt about this spot when Aaron and I came to you about meeting with Bishop Lydia.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, you could lie to me quite easily.
That's right. Did
A
you
lot
not
of
tell-
people
did you
say
not-
I'm gullible.
I don't think so. Did you not tell the prince when Aaron and I came to you?
Hmm?
About Bishop Lydia?
Oh, I had a little thingy, and it knocked me out for 4 days.
Interesting how that keeps happening. We keep trying to do the right thing. We keep trying to follow the protocol, and then something happens. People become indisposed. Cameras go out.
I feel like you're trying to get at something.
Just lamenting.
I feel like you're trying to get at something. This is like Tremere shit, and to be honest, I'm not in it.
Not
Was
too
there
much.
anything you actually needed from me, or did you just want to chit chat because you don't got any friends up here?
A little bit of both.
Okay, then I am going to change our topic to the lore of Tekken, and that will be the only thing that we are discussing until court is back in session.
Sounds good. I usually play King.
Interesting. I play Christy Montiero.
That makes sense.
Yeah, she's my favorite. Also, it's a whole family drama. It's a lot. And so during Alpha walks back out looking like he's got the headache of a century. He says, "All right, we're ready to start again." And that is where we are going to leave off for this week. We will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to check out our link tree where you can visit all of our sponsors and support the show. We love you all very much. Take care of yourselves and each other. Good night.